You found affordable day trading. Hello, I'm Don Singletary, and welcome to the channel. Today's featured trade is going to be the S&P500 Micro Emini. Let's get going. This is the trade setup, and I use in the Tastyworks software. Over on the left side of the screen is a bracket order entry panel. It has the entering price, the stop loss, and the target or the close at profit price there. Over on the right side, 5-minute candlesticks with the MACD, or some people call it the MACD, with default settings, and that's in the bottom pane. And we're going to zoom in on this chart just a moment, and I'll explain why this trade and why now. Let's do the big picture first. Since 11 o'clock in the morning and all the way out to the current time, which is around 3:15 in the afternoon, we see the market has just been selling off all day long. Not in a kind of a drastic way, but it is consistent. And I think I have a chance here to short a contract because I look down on the bottom pane to the MACD and I see the vertical green line slanting down and the green and red line looking as though they may converge very soon. Now we can't know that with certainty, of course. The trade signal indicator, the MACD in this case, is kind of like a weather report, and it gives you some idea of what's happening in the market. And I would add that you should notice that both the red and the green lines are also below the zero line, another indication of a negative momentum. Now I'm going to switch over to the live screen. I use the bracket order entry method here because I handle everything all at once. I review my figures and send it off, and my trade is filled immediately. And I mean immediately. It's usually just 10 milliseconds or even less sometimes. Anyway, you can see I've shorted one contract at 45.73 3/4, and I placed my stop up at 45.78. Now I'll do the math for you. That's 4 1/4 points, and 4 1/4 times $5 is $21.25. That's my maximum risk. That's where my stop loss order is up there at 45.78. So worst thing can happen to me is I'm going to lose $21.50, and the trade is underway. Now the figure I didn't mention is the target down there at 45.60. Little ironic, you can try and tell the market what you want it to do, isn't it? But the target price sometimes is useful. The truth is, in this kind of trading, we hardly ever hit a specified target. The science of technical indicators and charting isn't developed to the point where it can actually tell the future. So you have to just put your best guess down there and go with it. It's just kind of out of the way for me, and it's not even really a part of the trade unless I need to move it or make some adjustment as the trade goes on. Now we're just about, up $5. Arguably, we're about break even here, but we're only about 1 minute into the trade, and we have to see what develops here. There's a lot of people out there who believe that if you have enough computer, enough charts, and enough technical indicators, and you can figure them all just perfectly, that it's like printing your own money when you're trading. Well, that's Easter Bunny territory. It's a fact that it just is not true. And people that tell you that it's true are usually trying to sell you their system for a lot of money. So I just wanted to warn you. 45.76 3/4 is where my stop is. You notice that 3 points up. So my maximum risk on the trade right now is losing that $15. There's so many factors that control the stock equity index futures contracts, government reports, wars, oil, gold, public perception, elections, the list goes on and on and on. And it's just hard to imagine that any computer program would be cognizant of everything going on in the world and do it in enough milliseconds that you could use it to make money with no risk at all. It just isn't true, no matter how many people believe it or how many people say it. You have to use that gray matter between your ears to become a good trader. 45.75.50 is where my stop is now. The trade's making some progress. I'm trading down at 45.70.5. And at that price, I'm ahead $16.25. That's 3 1/4 points. I'm doing the math for you. And my stop up there at 45.75 and a half, I was only risking like $8.25 was my maximum risk. Now, I just brought that stop down again, and now it's only $5 away. You see that 1 point difference between the stop and the blue letters there, where I shorted the contract 1 point, $5. Pretty simple. Now, I got to tell you, I said I would show you affordable trading here on the channel. Now, the point of learning to trade is not so you can make $5 or $16.25 or any of those things. The point is it gives you an affordable way you can learn to trade. Now, everybody knows how to multiply. These contracts are 1/10 size, so we're trading at $5 a point instead of the regular E-mini, which would be $50 a point. And when you're only up and down a few bucks at a time, it's pretty easy to contain your emotions. And unless you really let yourself get into a bind in a trade, you're not going to experience a lot of stress. And that's kind of the whole point, because you'll trade better when you pick your trades better too. Well, we're making some progress now. Look at this. I got my stop down at 45.72 3/4. So the worst thing can happen to me right now is I'm going to make $5. But there's even better news pending here. At 45.67 and a half, my unrealized gain on this trade right now is $33.75. So I have this trade under control. The worst thing can happen is I make $5, and right now I'm $33.75 up. And I'm only 5 minutes into the trade right now. Now, this is where you want to be with the trade. You have emotional control, because there's no way you can lose any money on this trade. You can lose your current unrealized gains. So, I'm at risk right now to lose the $30 or so that I'm ahead on the trade, but I can't lose any money out of my account. And you think differently. It's called prospect theory if you want to look it up. But when you're under stress, you make different decisions than you do when you can remain in control of your emotions. And that's the way to do it. That's what you want to do in a trade. Now, I'm always thinking of ways to reduce the risk, and now I'm just trying to protect my unrealized gain too. So I reach over there with a mouse, which works equally well as you just saw with the target price. I just moved it up, and then I had better thoughts and moved it back down again. So I get out my click and drag Tastyworks mouse here, and I'm going to pull that stop down. I'm trading down at 45.66, so I'm going to lock in a larger unrealized gain. And I move my stop down to 45.68 and a half. So that's great. I've locked in $26.25 on the trade now. That's one of the most frequently asked questions I get is, how do you know where to put your stop? Well, people expect there to be some formula, a foolproof method, but I guess it's just a work of art, because there's no logical way you can know. How can I possibly tell the future of the next 2 or 3 minutes and where this price is going to go? There's no kind of magic you can buy or beg for that would give you the solution to that problem. So it's your best guess, and you're on your own there. Trading 45.65 and a half right now. The only thing we have on the screen here, and I'll zero in on that MACD on the bottom, you remember when we did the trade setup, the green and red lines had not yet converged, and we thought they might, and they have, and they look as if they will continue to do so. Now, if I had looked down there and they weren't continuing to do so, or they'd never converged, I would be more cautious about this trade reversing on me. But the trade signal indicator is merely confirming the assumptions we made when we entered the trade, and it doesn't look like that information has changed. Now, my Tastyworks mouse is out again, and I move my stop down to 45.67 and a quarter. That means I have $32.50 locked in now. I look over and I see I'm trading 45.65 over there, so I lower my stop once again down to 45.66 and a half. So I've locked in $37.50 on this trade now. And before the trade is over, I'd like to thank my special guest. I'll bring him out here. It's the Tastyworks mouse, ladies and gentlemen, and he can take a bow. If you're a beginner, you may not have noticed it, but we've done all the trading on one page throughout this trade. See it, click it, trade it. That's a Tastyworks feature, and that's what they call it there. And it really is handy to have that mouse to go around. We're trading, there I am, stopped out now, 45.66.5. Let's do the numbers. That was a fun trade. And why? Because there was no stress during the trade. That's what you want to shoot for. Better trade selection will give you less stress when you trade, and the less stress you have, the better decisions you're going to make. Now, I fully realize that it's easy for me to say that. The less stress you have, the better decisions you're going to make. But if you're experiencing a lot of stress, and that usually happens when you allow yourself to get in the hole in a trade, have a drawdown much bigger than whatever your normal is. Say you're used to putting a $25 to $35 stop on there, and you find yourself after a few minutes and a couple of bad decisions, or at least questionable decisions, that you're $60 or $70 down, and that's when you start making bad decisions. So you need to find a way, and it's different for everybody. You need to find a way to keep yourself out of those situations, and it'll save you a lot of money. If you want to know more about Tastyworks, the Tastyworks mouse, and all those things, I have people send me emails once in a while wanting to know where they can buy one of those mice. But, that's just a figment of video imagination here. But I want to show you how easy it is to control a trade and do everything on one screen. So that's the only reason I put it up there, and I have a little fun with it every now and then. Be sure and subscribe to the channel, because if you hit that notification bell, they'll send you a text or an email or something, and you won't miss when I post new videos just about every week here, and I have a featured trade, of course, in every video. It's been a really great time today. Check out the book link below. Trading Psychology is a big deal, and I have a special chapter in that on my book, and it will make learning to trade the Micro E-minis faster and easier, because it's not a book that teaches 25 different things. It only does one thing: day trading the Micro E-minis. And to my knowledge, it's the only book dedicated exclusively to that. And that way you don't waste your time learning and reading a lot of things that really don't pertain to your immediate goal of learning to day trade the Micro E-minis. It's been fun today, and I want to thank you for being here. If you want to see other videos like the one you saw today, help me out and hit that like button. I use those like a vote, and I count them up, and it helps me determine the content of future videos here on the channel. I'm Don Singletary. Thanks for being here today. I hope every day is a payday for you.